wanna grow up, cause baby, if I did,
I wouldn't be as old as kids.
more time. You was born after?
Oh, she's humming, and she's ready to let loose. This is the spin bender shot. Yes! Let's go! Fine! Welcome to Smash!
If someone's sending you this video.
Y'all is crazy. We not crazy. We can't have no cubs on our own, so we decided to adopt.
That's right, boy. Stop disrespecting your mom.
I think you're gonna make a great lion cub. Once you get used to it. I really only got one problem with it. That's I'm not no lion. Uh-oh.
Where you going?
Y'all, please. Please what? Please stop acting crazy. You want to act like regular lions? No, I'll be your cub. Roar!
This is the little guy.
What?
This tiny little guy.
I'm not little. I'm a bloody massive unit, mate.
That has killed a bunch of my chickens.
Hey, slow this scooter down. I didn't kill any chickens, okay? That is misinformation.
Why did you do that?
Disinformation. I don't know the difference between mis and dis, but you're telling lies.
I'm going to let you go.
Yeah, well, you should. I should be a free hawk.
Because I guess you're doing something natural, but it's not natural when you go into my barn to get them. Then it's no longer natural.
Well, that's a word salad.
Then you are just fishing a barrel.
What?
Do you understand me?
I don't think you understand yourself. You sound ethically conflicted. I didn't kill your chickens.
You're supposed to go catch mice in the field.
Oh, that's a stereotype.
You're supposed to
I don't like eating mice.
get other things other than my chickens that are pets.
No, I don't criticize your diet.
And I am so upset with you right now because you killed another one. So that's 2 today.
You got no evidence.
1 yesterday.
Fuck off.
I'm not even sure how many are dead inside.
Well,
I haven't looked yet.
You don't want to know. It's actually a massacre in there. Not that I did it.
But I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go because
Good.
You're doing something that's natural.
That's justice. Yeah, it is natural.
But
I'm hungry.
I don't like you going after my chickens, and I don't want you to do it anymore. Will you promise me that?
No.
And I'll let you go.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, in my defense, good on you for figuring out how to farm.
And let you go over in the field.
It doesn't mean you own everything.
All right?
All right, don't shoot me.
This is the look.
You know Elvis Presley.
Oh my God, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This dude is on a motorcycle with a dude on the back of it, with another motorcycle strapped to the dude in the rain. I swear to God, this is great. Oh.
I started scanning my coins just for fun.
Did it.
What if Ned Ryerson is the devil in Groundhog Day? Think of
Never gave a damn, I ain't never gave no fuck. Fell out with them hoes, we ain't never make it no fuck. Back for everything I ever lost, I'm on me. Never.
What's up, Brian? Oh, I didn't know that, my bad.
Yeah, no lie. We just seen a garfish swimming right here, like on top of the water.
I met this trans one.
Okay. If you want to hide some, put that shit in the book. Look at this shit. Old Tartarian books. They always had a message in that motherfucker, but you had to find that shit. You got any old books in your home with that gold outline on the motherfucker?
Yep,
Maybe
mother
you
and
should
daughter.
try.
Weak erections? Check out.
Dog looks like he knows the future. Bro was taxidermied alive. I knew my drawing in kindergarten would show up. Is he on a diet that consists of only coffee? Can't explain it, but his face looks like it's on the wrong foot. Facts. Does he know he exists? Rescued him from a medieval painting. Can you tell me which pre-workout your dog?
Good evening, everybody. I'm gonna show you.
Do you? There she stood in the doorway. I heard the mission bell. And I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven and this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle. And she.
What's up, you fucking liberal sissies? I'm back with Fuckface McGee, and today we're gonna be trying some booger sugar, some nose candy. Holy shit! Boys, we are fucking tossed! We are fucking What's up, you fucking liberal
This bitch think I'm stupid. 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 Yeah, this bitch think I'm stupid. She probably right.
This must be Malcolm X, if I can remember right. And there he has on a Masonic ring, by the way. You can see, I believe, from here it's hard to see, but I believe in that picture there is a square and a compass of the Masons. So he was not only a black Muslim, yeah, there he is, but he was a Mason.
You're black Muslim? I ain't never heard it said like that.
我这你们这上下文化。
我那意思跟你开一瓶，你才生气了。你才吓一跳。你快给我扔了！
小鬼，哎，长脚。哎呦，我这。
Okay, then. Maybe some liquor.
What's gonna happen to him? Oh, what?
All right, I'm gonna get started.
Mira.
You got
So much stuff on Facebook. Like I said, I just checked one message and then it's like a free for all in there.
It's going to come up because it's been going on since we've been recording here. Elon and Trump seem to be in a bit of a spat, Joe. You want to check the tweet that Elon just put out a little bit ago?
Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Jesus Christ.
I'm not participating in any of that conversation.
What is Elon? Have a nice day, DJD. So much day gets fallen away.
They're going back and forth about different things.
Jesus Christ, that's a crazy thing to say. How does he know? Does he know that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, or does he have access to the Epstein files?
I don't know how he would, but I'm just staying out of the Trump Elon thing. That's way outside my lane.
How is that way outside your lane? You're FBI, bro.
I just don't. I mean, I understand
fucking FBI, bro.
I think it's bad for your mental health. I think posting things public all day and arguing with people all day is bad for you.
Well, you raise a great point. Sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Half of what we have to respond to.
All right, so Joe Rogan just had Kash Patel, the director of the FBI, on his podcast to talk about Epstein, and I don't think this could have gone any worse for him. It was brutal.
Like, he spent 20 minutes trying to convince Joe that Epstein didn't kill himself, that there are no tapes from the island, and all the conspiracy theories about him are fiction. And then after all that, they react to Elon's tweet about how Trump is in the Epstein files, and that's why they're not being released. And Cash just had no comment on it. You know, he didn't deny it for some reason. And even Alex Jones is like, why is the director of the FBI, who I support, destroying himself in front of the world? So this was insane. I couldn't believe what I was listening to. I mean, I don't think there's a single person that believes what Cash is saying here about Epstein, and I'm sure he knows it. I mean, all the comments on this clip say something like, this might be the biggest lie ever told on JRE, and dude is lying through his teeth, zero respect for him, and they're just insulting our intelligence at this point, and Cash Patel's hiding evidence and protecting Epstein clients. And obviously Joe knows there's something fishy going on here too, and he doesn't trust Cash either, but he doesn't really call him out. You know, he questions him a little bit, but he probably knows Cash is just weighing over his head, and all he can do at this point is lie. He's just too deep in it. So Cash keeps trying to tell him that there's footage of Epstein in his cell, which shows like whatever, you know, even if you have that, nobody's going to believe it. And I don't know what that's going to prove. You know, Cash even said the video is boring. It's just him sitting there in his cell. So I don't know how that's going to prove that he wasn't murdered. And then also Joe mentions how originally they claimed there's no footage and it was deleted. And you can tell he doesn't know what to say. He's just like, well, ask the people who are in charge then. And it just gets awkward.
I'm not saying every single camera in the place was working. I'm saying we've got footage and you're getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can make up your own mind, and
Right.
the theories can continue. But my job,
So you became aware of this footage recently.
the ones that we're looking at, yeah.
Right. And so, but this is like an article from quite a while ago that was saying that the footage was mistakenly erased.
Look, I mean, it goes back to the same. Ask the people that were in power then. I mean, I get it that you want to hold me to account for their actions, and
No, I'm
not you,
saying-
not you,
I'm not saying that.
not you. That just the public in general. That's okay.
What's confusing to everybody today, first of all, it's very confusing because AI can kind of make anything.
But you, after having looked at it, this ain't gonna be AI.
You don't think so?
You're gonna. It's just not great. You know, it's like if it were AI, like someone wanted to come in and make it, they'd make it better.
But why would you make it better when people could, you know, you could have ambiguous footage that is, you know, totally generated by AI. I mean, AI can generate blurry images, AI can generate night vision. How much can you talk about what you've seen?
Not yet. Just what I've told
Can
you.
you say you've seen anything?
No, that's the point, that there's nothing in there, like in the video. You guys would be bored.
You're talking about the video of the murder or the suicide.
Yeah, so it's hilarious that everyone knows something's up. Nobody trusts him, not even Joe. And I'm sure Cash knows that as well, but he just has no other option than to lie. And he kept complaining about how people fuel conspiracy theories that aren't true. But before he became head of the FBI, he used to entertain all those theories. You know, on Joe's pod, Joe asked him if he ever questioned Epstein's side, and he says no. And you can tell he's lying because also he had previously said it doesn't look like it's tied to him, and he was highly skeptical of it all. But now that he's the head of the FBI, he conveniently has done a complete 180, and he thinks all those theories are ridiculous and people should stop spreading them.
What did you think before you got in office? Did you think that Epstein was murdered?
No.
No suspicion at all of that?
But I have a different background, right?
Right.
So I was a public defender back in the day. I used to spend a lot of time in jails and a lot of time in segregated housing units. I've spent a lot of time in federal detention facilities as a public defender before, talking to my clients, so I kind of know how those work.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. This doesn't look right. It doesn't look like a suicide. But is this Justice Department going to investigate it? Probably not. Murdered in segregated housing, in isolation, after being on suicide watch in a place in a detention center that I've physically been in myself, it would be fiction.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but what I was told, what I'd read, was that the guards were not paying attention or were sleeping.
Well,
right?
Yeah, and in short order, you'll see.
He was good, bro.
Is that correct?
Well, it's hard to surmise that from a video, right? Like,
Right.
Where they like, you know, and look, do guards goes off on night shift? Yeah. What happens is, in these units, there's supposed to be 24/7 guard duty on him directly. And from what I was able to learn in this, you know, in the lead up to his, and is the guard fell asleep. Now, I don't really buy that. And do you know what happened to these guards? Supposedly they were going to get charged, but I've never heard anything that happened to these prison guards. Maybe we should try to find them and let's talk to them.
And it's funny, Cash keeps talking about how secure the jail is and how nobody could ever get in there and be impossible to murder him. because then just like a couple minutes after that, Joe starts talking about the missing footage. He's like, yeah, maybe jails just aren't run very well. They're not very efficient. And Cash is like, yeah, it's not like Fort Knox or anything.
There's just no way that you could have run an op and had people go into that cell and not have any video of it and not have any people come out and say, hey, yeah, I saw that guy. He shouldn't have been there, the guard or this guy. There's just no access points into places like this in the detention center he was in, which I've been in. It's just, in my experience, that is not doable.
It's not doable even for the most powerful and wealthiest people in the world.
Yeah.
Missing jail video from the first Jeffrey Epstein suit. So for the first attempt has been found. So maybe let's put it into perspective. Jails are not the most efficient, best run places. It's not like
Fort Knox.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's yeah.
You know, we're working with what we got.
Right.
And Joe obviously doesn't think Epstein killed himself. You know, he's been saying that since the day he died. And he doesn't just say, I think he was killed or he might have been. Joe says he was, like, for sure. And he once said he knows some people who think he wasn't, but there's a reason they think that. You know, they have a vested interest in it. Just like Cash here, like, he's kind of just described this interaction perfectly.
What's going on here? The craziest thing that they murdered that guy in jail. It's just like, sweep. That's all done.
And by the way,
let's concentrate on Ukraine now.
Yeah, nobody actually believes he killed himself. I haven't met anybody left wing, right wing, center, apolitical. Everybody's like, that's kind of sketchy.
Yeah, I've met some people who believe it, but they have a reason to believe it. It's like they have this like vested interest in wanting to believe it.
Yeah, the skeptics. Yeah,
not even necessarily skeptics. It's like maybe they have some weird connection to it that they don't want you to know about. They want to make it look like it's not that big a deal. And they got them.
But at this point, how Epstein died, I mean, it's not really that important. You know, people mostly just want the list and the tapes and the clients convicted. But of course, that's never going to happen. Like, Joe tries to ask him if there's videos from the island. And Cash is like, well, we're going to give you everything we can, which probably means everything we're allowed to give you. And everyone knows whatever they release will be an absolute nothing burger. But Cash, the director of the FBI, has the audacity to sit here and say, once they release whatever bullshit they have, their jobs will be done, which is insane. You know, no Epstein clients have been arrested. There's no list that has been revealed, and he's telling us his job is done. And what's wild to me is not once during this does he say he's going to continue to investigate it. He's going to continue to try to go after the clients. He's going to make sure he seeks justice for the victims. He never says any of that. He almost says the opposite. He's basically like, you know, pretty much everybody has been implicated already. You know, everything's public. And we'll put out whatever bullshit we can, but there are no tapes, so people just need to move on from it. It's also crazy because when Joe asks about the tapes, he says, we'll give you what we can, but we're not going to re-victimize his victims. We're not putting that shit back out there, which is such a weird thing to say. I don't know what he means by that. I mean, you could just censor the victims, or you could just arrest the people in the tapes. And what's insane is some of the victims sued the FBI for withholding and delaying the release of the files. So they want everything out there. And Cash, he used to be really passionate about releasing the list. You know, you get all worked up about it. He's like, where's the list? Why won't they release it? And you blame the FBI. So it's like he's talking about himself now. It's ridiculous. Like, his whole tune has changed. He's much more like, guys, we need to get over this. Stop talking about these theories. And now he just wants people to forget about it. You know, it's pathetic.
But what about the video from the island?
Again, we're going to give you everything we can. And people have to remember, we're not going to re-victimize women. We're not going to put that shit back out there. It's not happening, because then he wins. Not doing it. You want to hate me for it? Fine.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest, the largest scale in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list?
And is there video from the island?
Not of what you want. The people out there have filled the void with, can't wait to see X, Y, or Z.
Right, speculation.
And I'm like,
put on your big boy pants and let us know who the files are. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything.
But I mean, so many people have been implicated, right, already. And some of that information, what they did to Prince Andrew and everybody else is already out there. And so that's the conspiracy stuff that me, Bongino, and the folks have to say, look, we will give you everything we can. And then we will have done our job.
This is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
Closing here, I want to just be very clear. Republicans could get Epstein's list out. Like, how would that process work?
Simple. One subpoena to the FBI. Give me the list.
So this guy is just absolutely spineless. You know, he did a complete 180, and he's clearly trying to bullshit everyone. And him saying that there are no tapes is contradicting what the Attorney General Pam Bondi said. She said they have thousands of videos that they're looking through.
No, the FBI, they're reviewing, there are tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now. The FBI is diligently.
And also during that podcast, it's so funny. At one point, Joe brings up how there's an autopsy report that said Epstein didn't kill himself, which of course Cash wasn't aware of. But he's like, well, you know, you can find an expert to say anything. And he brings up how he used to be a public defendant. And he's like, I defended some of the worst people alive, like child traffickers, which is a wild thing to say while you're talking about Epstein.
She said her office had done a complete investigation, taking into consideration information gathered by law enforcement in making the determination.
So this is a perfect example of going back to my public defender and prosecutor days.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we call a war of experts. You can always find someone to come in and say the opposite.
Right.
And I used to do it all the time. I mean, I represented some of the worst humans that you can possibly imagine on earth, literally. The guys that were trafficking children from Mexico into America.
So I'm sure that makes people trust him more. And also during this podcast, Cash kept saying, like, don't you think if I had the tapes or the list, I would release it? Don't you think I'd prosecute people? So he's basically just like, you need to trust us on this, even though he's contradicting the Attorney General. He's contradicting himself from a couple of years ago, and he's clearly hiding something. But we're expected to just trust him. You know, also, like, everybody knows the government has been lying forever. They've been protecting Epstein for decades. But now we're expected to believe them. So I don't know how he thinks people will just trust him on this. And if the files really implicate Trump, of course, Cash isn't going to release them. You know, he's not going to go against Trump. He's like a Trump sycophant. And he literally wrote a children's book with him as the main character. So obviously if Trump is in the files, which, I mean, people know he is, like he's been on the flights, it's just to what extent. But if they really do show something bad, obviously that would be a terrible look for Cash and pretty much everybody involved. So it would make sense why they don't want it to come out. But like Elon said, they could easily prove him and everyone wrong if they just release all the documents, all the lists, whatever they have unredacted. But it's not looking like that's going to happen. And apparently we just have to trust Cash. You know, there's no reason he would ever want to lie to us.
Do you think that myself, Bongino, and others would participate in hiding information about Epstein's grotesque activities? Or do you think we would also participate in not prosecuting people we had evidence to prosecute people on? Also, if I had a shred, me, Cash Patel, had a shred of evidence, the Russiagate guy, the Jan 6 guy, the COVID origins guy, had a shred of evidence that this guy was murdered, I would be the first guy to bring this case hard and fast. And I would even do press conferences every week on it.
Mm-hmm.
The first guy. That's what I'm asking people to play out to the logical conclusion. But the problem is there's been like 15 years of people coming in and creating fictions about this that doesn't exist. Where's the videotape of an Epstein Island of X, Y, and Z committing these frauds? Why haven't you given it to us? Do you really think I wouldn't give that to you if it existed? Again, logical play out. If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
If you have access to it.
If I have it, period. Right. If I have it.
So
where else would it be?
Right. If you have it.
Right.
But you can't say that you have it.
No, we're giving you everything we have.
So far.
Everything we have so far is.
Have you guys gone over all the video that's available?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. That's what takes so much damn time.
Right.
So this podcast cleared up nothing. It only made people even more skeptical. And then Joe reading that Elon tweet at the end, that was just too perfect. You know, after all that, then he's like, holy shit, Elon just said that Trump's implicated. But of course, they try to move on pretty quick, and Joe doesn't have much to say about it, even though he knows Trump was well connected to Epstein. Like just a couple weeks ago, one of his guests brought up how Epstein's victim, who just allegedly killed herself, Virginia Guthrie, was recruited by Epstein at Mar-a-Lago, which I talked about over on Patreon. Also, Tim Dillon, he claims to have some inside information about the files, but he's scared to share it. I covered that too, along with a ton of other stuff. There's so much exclusive content on there. So if you enjoy the channel, make sure you check it out. There'll be a link in the description.
Shit's getting kind of weird, man.
Trap House Entertainment. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah. Girl, you're everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dream. 'Cause you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wildin' in these streets, but you helped me tame the beast. 'Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone. 'Cause I got you here with me. You're the reason why you're so high. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. You're so You're the reason why. You're the reason why. Yeah. Misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood as I.
Hello? Hey. I'm good, chilling. Okay. That sounds good. That's 8 to 3. That ain't bad. All right. So you gotta be there at 8. What time you gonna leave your house? 6 o'clock sound good. No, I was off today. I go back to work tomorrow. I'm just in the studio working on some paintings. Yeah, I definitely want to hear what all you had to do and everything. All right, I'll chat with you later. My young boy started his job tomorrow.
Slowly change my ways. I will never waste a day, and this love will never fade. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. Go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. Trap House Entertainment. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dreams. Plus you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wildin' in these streets, but you helped me tame the beast. Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone. Cause I got you here with me. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood as I slowly get gray. I slowly change my way. I will never waste a day, and this love will never fade. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why.
Trap house in it, see. Reason why, you the reason why, you the reason, you the reason, you the reason why, you the reason why, you the reason why, you the reason, you the reason, you the reason. Girl, you're everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dreams. Plus you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wildin' in these streets, but you helped me tame the beast. Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone, cause I got you here with me. The reason why I go so hard, you're the reason why, the reason why, oh, the reason why I go so hard, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood. As I slowly get brave, I slowly change my way. I will never waste a day, and this love will never be. The reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason, you're the reason, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason why. Trap House Entertainment.
Right? Hey. So I got 3 of them on the list. So I wrote this last night. I ran it a few times, and there's 3 of the old school versions that I'm just listening to, trying to narrow it down. I think it's gonna be the second one. Actually, this one right here that's playing right now. But then I took the same lyrics and did like a new school, The Weeknd type vibe. And that one came out pretty good too, but I'm definitely liking these renditions of it better. But all 3 of them don't sound bad, yo. But I put in Love Ballad as a prompt, and I think number 2 kind of nails it, as that has that long, drawn out ballad to it. You the reason why I go so hard. We all got that person we'll go hard for, yo. Don't fuck with our people. We'll crash out over certain motherfuckers, especially your kids, your significant other, man, your husband or wife. Hey, motherfuckers will crash out about their people. You know what I'm saying? You the reason I go so hard. Don't make me kill a motherfucker over you.
You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason.
Misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood as I slowly get grayer, slowly change my ways. I will never waste a day, and this love will never fade. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. Trap house entertainment. Everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dreams. Plus you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wildin' in these streets, but you helped me tame the beast. Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone, cause I got you here with me. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why, you're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why, I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood as I slowly get gray. I slowly change my way. I will never waste a day, and this love will never fade. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why.
I don't know. I still like the second one the most, I think, guys. I Make that one the final one. Got some new listeners in here. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on what time zone y'all in. Checking out some new music written by yours truly. That track was called "You're the Reason." Yeah, you're the reason I go so hard. We're going to listen to these 3 songs. It's the same song. We're going to listen to the 3 versions one more time in a row, 1, 2, and 3. If you have any opinion on which one you think sounds the best, please drop it in the comment section below. So here is the new song we wrote last night, actually. You're the Reason. We're going to listen to 1, 2, and 3. Number 1. Let me know if you like number 1 the best.
Trap House in it, see.
Trap House, that's me. Yeah.
You're the reason. Girl, you're everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dreams. Plus you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wildin' in these streets, but you helped me tame the beast. Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone. Cause I got you here with me, the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I
Go so hard.
You're the reason why. You're the reason why. I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood. As I slowly get gray, I slowly change my way. I will never waste a day, and this love will never be the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. So hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why.
All right, that was version number 1. Version number 2 is right here.
Trap House Entertainment. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah. Girl, you're everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dream. 'Cause you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wildin' in these streets, but you held me
got me knocking on wood as I slowly get gray. I slowly change my ways. I will never waste a day, and this love will never fade. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. Go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. Go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why.
All right, that was version number 2. Version number 3 is coming up right here.
Trap House Entertainment.
You know, he grew up in the church.
You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dreams. Plus you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wildin' in these streets, but you helped me tame the beast. 'Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone. 'Cause I got you here with me. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood as I slowly get gray. I slowly change my way. I will never waste a day, and this love will never fade. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. The reason why.
I'm leaning more towards number 2, personally. I'm gonna have to finalize something this evening and go ahead and get it published, get it out there, put it on my YouTube channel. But I think number 2, because I intended for it to be a love ballad. And number 1 sounds pretty good. I think number 2 has that more ballad feel to it. Number 3 sounds more like more contemporary, like modern R&B song. It doesn't really have that old school flair to it like I'm looking for. So I'm leaning heavy towards the second version. The second version as a final add to the playlist version. Any comments, critiques, or feedback is more than welcome. Somebody said Lil Wayne new album is trash. Damn. So that was it. He finally, I think you done rapped enough, Lil Wayne. You're done. And then somebody started critiquing this stuff like you're a grown adult man now, and you still don't try to teach us nothing in your music. It's still just bars with no real substance. I never buy Jay-Z stuff, but I even heard from other people, and there was that one single called OJ where Hove seems like he was trying to drop some jewels about finance and wealth building and investments, and the album was 444 or something like that. You know, it's like it took you long enough, broski, to try to educate after you damn materialize everything for your whole entire rap career. You just all about the bling bling and shiny things, and then like years later, you're like, oh well, you need to invest in art and other stuff. It's like, bro, you could have been telling us that. Nipsey Hussle jumped out the gate saying shit like that, like, yo, nigga, community, build for yourself, own your own shit. He jumped out there like that. When Prodigy from Mobb Deep got to that certain level of enlightenment, he couldn't help but put that shit in his music. He dropped a couple albums where he released a couple albums where he just dropping gem after gem after gem in these albums, yo. It's like, and then Lil Wayne come back. I'll give him credit that, you know, my generation of rappers are some real rappers, bro. These motherfuckers can spit. They've been doing that shit for 30 years now. They've been doing it for 30 years. My generation of rappers are the cool ones who kind of made like longevity in hip hop and rap seem feasible. Well, KRS-One is one of the fucking grandfathers of this shit. The OG who's, you know, just lets you know, like, you don't ever have to stop rapping, even if you get old. He's in his mid 50s now, 55, 56 years old, and still dropping heat. Like, it seemed like a lot of the younger, well, the rap era right before us kind of like died out after a certain age. Like hip hop is for the youth, you know, but Wu-Tang is for the kids. So, you know, Wu-Tang will stick around. It does help to always have the youthful mindset in there, so we can always have a understanding of current events and how our youth views the world around them. But at the same time, just like some rock and roll legends, Aerosmith and Sting and the Police and goddamn Van Halen. These motherfuckers was doing concerts into their 60s and 70s on stage, still rocking out to the same music they wrote 40 years ago, 35 years ago. The Grateful Dead and all these motherfuckers would tour until they were geriatric on the stage. But it's like, our hip hop legends, they seem to kind of fade into obscurity after a certain age. And once again, yeah, hip hop is kind of for the young people, but at the same time, man, if you've made your mark in hip hop and you've contributed to the culture, you should never fade away. You should never fade away. And so I'm just happy that, Eminem and the Locks and Lil Wayne and all the guys I used to listen to when I was in high school. These motherfuckers can still drop music right now. It's fire. I'm not saying Lil Wayne music ain't good. They're just saying it's still Lil Wayne lacking a lot of substance. He's just one of the best rhymers. This motherfucker can just make some shit rhyme. Hella good, yo. One of the best rhymers out there. That's fine. Being able to rhyme. We need storytellers and we need fucking some substance, a little bit of education in the rap sometimes. Not just gun bars and punchline bars. But you read that also? It's not just me, bro, and it's not just my sources. Like a lot of people are saying, like, Wayne, we love you. We do, man. We was hoping for something more mature from you. And no, you're still rapping like 20-year-old Wayne. You're not 20 anymore, bro. I think Lil Wayne is just 1 year younger than me, nigga. You're 42 years old, 43 years old. Like you're not in your 20s anymore. Give us something, Wayne. Drop us a jewel. Throw us a bone. Say something enlightening, something super positive, something that's of substance. Wee 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 wee. Sounding like a cop car. And Johnny lick me like a lollipop. She wanna lick me like a lollipop. Okay, Wayne, we done had enough of that shit, bro. What else you got? Put red dots on your face like zits. Okay, Wayne. Damn, bro. I thought you was gonna come harder than that, man. You ever heard Tech Nine, Little Wayne? Oh yeah, you and Tech Nine and did some tracks together. Rap different, nigga. Rap about something different. Strange music. Tech Nine in his 50s. That nigga old down. He stayed dropping them bars though. He's a mental giant, that's what they say. To all who naysay, he's a mental giant. That's what they say. To all who naysay, he's a mental giant. That's what they say. He's a mental giant. Hey. I ain't even listened to none of that Carter's. What is it? 6, 7? I don't know. I didn't know he was even, putting out a new album. I heard nothing about it until the first thing I heard about it was, Lil Wayne new album sucks. I'm like, what? Wait a minute, he put out some new shit? And then somebody played, he got Big X the plug on the track. He let Big X rap first. And then it's like, Big X is not that guy, bro. He's not fucking Talib Kweli or Black Thought. Like, this nigga just a trap rapper. And, his little bars came in, and they weren't, like, prolific or anything. And then Lil Wayne rapped. And it's like, damn, bro, how Big X shit sound better than yours or your own shit? And this nigga don't even got really super bars like that, yo. I can be Big X writer. You need some raps, bro? You rap the most simplest shit. But that's the formula, People got the formula now. A lot of people don't want really complicated, in-depth stuff, especially the youth. They can't comprehend a lot of stuff. So as long as you talk about some money and some bitches, still the same format they've been sticking us with for forever. Talk about money, bitches, and how much you spend on your sneakers, and then you're in there. You're in there like swimwear. So Big X hit the first verse with some hibbity hoobity blue ba, a dibbity doo da, a buddy the boo, a diddy doo da. I got some crack and some guns and some money. And then I was like, that's not terrible. Your flow is, your wordplay is your vocabulary is whatever. Then Lil Wayne come in and it's like, how is the other nigga verse better than your verse, Wayne? Wait a minute, what's going on here? What in the hell? This nigga been on too much lean in the studio. Put the drugs down, Wayne. You're not who you used to be, bro. Yeah, God, that was Carter. Okay. Dwayne Carter. Wasn't him and Jay-Z supposed to do an album together called The Carters or something? Or did Jay-Z and Beyonce do an album called The Carters? Can't remember.
This is when a guy is out of touch with reality. I want to have a full-on discussion. I'm not going to play one freaking song. I'm not going to do what the other reactors are doing, just listening and kind of like, No, we're going to talk about this joint song for song. What I'm going to do, I printed out some stuff I want to get into because this joint is double trash, gang. It's double trash. This is when you are too consumed with your own self and your own music. This is when you have lost touch with reality. You're only as good as the people you're plugged into. And it sounds like Lil Wayne is just plugged into himself. Some of these features not even making any sense. This is when a guy is out of touch with reality. When a guy is out of touch with reality.
You don't. Where is it? Where's the video you're talking about? Where's the you breaking down Lil Wayne? Oh, the Clips is coming back with an album too. Yeah, the Clips. So they about to drop some new shit back with Pharrell again.
Paying $70 for premium tees.
Ladies love a man in a great fitting tee. These are Mott and Bow's classic crew drakes. Every man looks good in them. They hide your belly and your man boots.
Now, when it comes to Lil Wayne, as all of hip hop is completely baffled by the atrocity of a record that he has released in the Carter 6, well, if you are ready to get answers on how Wayne just destroyed the Carter series and released one of the most hated albums in years in all of hip hop, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, within all of the outrage from the release of the Carter 6 and all of the conversation it started, when you look beyond the elephant noises, Super Mario Underground level type beats, and putting Ave Maria over 808s, now this album was made and with what Lil Wayne was trying to achieve from it. Well, as he just had his launch show for the Carter 6 with a concert that was held at none other venue than Madison Square Garden, Wayne revealed to us the full picture of why he made this album the way he did, and as a result, why it is now failing as bad as we have all seen it. And really, when we find out the truth of why this is, well, Kendrick Lamar and the Super Bowl really have caused crash outs in the rap game like we have never seen anything close to. And now, before we go any further into all of this, make sure to leave that like and subscribe if you have not already. And now, as this album has really just changed the perception of Wayne, and its failure is derived right off of moments that shifted the genre, and at the end of the day, made Kendrick Lamar ascend more in the rap game than we have really seen any MC ever. Leave that like so all of hip hop can see where the Carter 6 went all wrong. And now, with that said, when it comes to Lil Wayne, when you really try and sit down and process the absolute abomination of an album that we have all been collectively baffled by with the Carter 6. Well, on first impact, it's easy to get lost within the mess of noisy and chaotic beats and the outdated bars, and from there just stop and walk away in confusion, which is what I think we all did when faced with such ridiculous things as the tracks Peanuts to an Elephant. Well, beyond the confusion, when you actually track the creation of the Carter 6, the recent turn Lil Wayne has taken in his career, both creatively and in terms of the people he works with, and of course line this up with the biggest beef in hip-hop ever with Kendrick Lamar and Drake, and of course the after effects of that, which ended up affecting the Super Bowl and so much of what Lil Wayne was trying to achieve in this window. Well, with all of that, what we can start to see is that really where this album went wrong, and where Lil Wayne shifted a gear that clearly was for the worse and not for the better, was exactly on September 8th, 2024, which was the day that, if we all remember, Kendrick Lamar announced that he was going to be the first solo headlining rapper to ever do an entire Super Bowl halftime show by himself. And now, no matter how we want to put it and how Wayne tried to revise history, we saw all of the posts, whether it was the Super Bowl or even when GNX dropped. Wayne did feel a way about all of this and Kendrick Lamar, and even if he was not actually mad at Kendrick, he clearly was very frustrated by this entire situation, and as a result, this all tried to make him prove something personally as an artist, which was that his performance ability and catalog was Super Bowl worthy, and that it could be really played in the most prestigious of musical settings. And now, if you don't believe me, let's just look at some of the major stops Lil Wayne has made to prove this, which has literally tied right into the rollout of the Carter 6, because after his so-called Super Bowl snub in his eyes, Wayne did get to work in terms of the rollout of how he was trying to present himself which all centered around being in some of the most prestigious circles and venues that you could possibly be within the music industry. And now the first thing that Wayne did to do this was perform on one of the biggest TV broadcasts of 2025 that was not the Super Bowl in the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special, where he did a very unique set during the 3-hour show with the Roots playing alongside him, and now alongside a big TV event like that. And within that SNL show, everybody who at least knew the story of what was going on with Lil Wayne could at least tell that he was trying to show that he has improved as a performer. Well, beyond that, with Wayne choosing to play at Madison Square Garden over something like an arena within his hometown of New Orleans to celebrate the release of the Carter 6, that tells you every single thing you need to know about Wayne trying to cement himself in this bigger light with more flash, because you don't book the world's most famous arena and neglect your home city for a moment like this if you weren't aiming to try and make a play to be a superstar again at this point in your career. And now when we look at the Carter 6 itself, when you listen to the album and see the way Wayne failed exactly, him swinging and missing the way he did only further confirms that he was trying to make an album that was aiming to take over the charts and just control every corner of the music world, from pop to rock to rap. And again, all in this too ambitious and poorly guided attempt to be all over everything in this revenge tour over not getting the Super Bowl and being the face of all of the fake outrage when it came to trying to take away Kendrick Lamar's moment at the show itself. And again, when you look at what Wayne did with the Carter 6, track by track, he tried to hit all the beats to have an album that controlled radio and all of the streaming charts.
Bauer Tools give you the confidence to take on challenging home projects. With hundreds of corded and cordless tools and accessories, Bauer is ready to deliver. Whatever you do, do it.
As within the hip-hop genre itself, Wayne tried to make a song that newer fans would enjoy and stream with Big X the Plug in the track Hip Hop. And then he made another clear attempt at a hit, but for the old heads this time on the radio, by literally naming and sampling the song after one of the most iconic tracks, the radio station of the same name, and the guy who founded it in none other than LL Cool J with the song Bells, which is of course trying to ride the wave of Rock the Bells and win over people with that good old nostalgia. And now for Wayne exiting hip-hop and getting into these other spaces, well, Wayne really thought he was going to make the biggest hits he had in years with some of the other songs that he had to clear for samples on this thing, like Island Holiday, which samples Weezer's iconic track Island in the Sand, The Days with Bono from U2, which again, as we saw Wayne and his team send this track to ESPN and ABC for the NBA Finals, it's so clear that they wanted this thing to be another big radio song. And then also the song with Jelly Roll follows right in line with all of this and the trend of old rappers just trying to do something that is so clearly an indicator that they are washed and that they do not understand the music industry, which is just to think that a Jelly Roll feature is going to save a song and make it a hit in the first place. And then with the Ave Maria song, which is just an atrocity to music, as somebody really sat down and thought, let's take Ave Maria and put a trap drum over it. Again, with Andrea Bocelli singing in the background, it is clear that they were trying to make that bigger than just an album track, although it of course failed. And now with all of these specific songs, when you look at all of them and see how Wayne was trying to expand, Wayne really was trying to make a record that he believed was going to take over the summer and be all over everywhere you went. But why this really failed, and why every single one of these songs is pretty much bad and at the worst is even unlistenable, is because of the fact that with the entire Carter 6 album, which in of itself was made the way it was as a knee-jerk reaction to not getting the Super Bowl and then wanting to show the industry that you can still be the top rapper and hip-hop artist in the world. Well, when trying to make a 19-track experience that does what the best rappers do, which is facilitate culture and just capture a magic through music that only few other geniuses could ever even come close to on the highest level. Well, Wayne tried to take what he thought were trends and styles that would mesh well with his rapping to make something bigger. But again, as Wayne is not really tapped into the culture or the music scene and what is actually going on within hip-hop or really anything for the most part, Wayne's trends and ideas of what would work are stuck in like 2010, and this is why he is still trying the rap-rock crossovers, and this is why we are seeing a song with Wayne and Bono in the Big 25, and why overall this record feels so dated, because really with this thing, Wayne is not functioning like a veteran rapper who is creating to his own drum and path and is just showing everyone what that looks like. But this album is functioning as Wayne chasing trends that he believes are big and important, but what Wayne does not realize because of who he is and how out of the loop he has always been, is that the trends that he is still chasing on a path have not been ran on by anyone else in over 15 years, and nobody even cares to see what it would look like now. And really with this now, between hip-hop as a genre reaching a point of real change finally with Kendrick Lamar's run and all of the stakes around this record itself, well, with the bar just getting higher and higher. The music has failed so bad on the Carter 6, and people are just baffled that when the phrase go hard or go home has never meant more when it comes to new rap releases.
Go hard or go
This
home.
was Wayne's idea of coming in so hard that he hyped up that he was a monster and a giant and that he was going to take over the rap game with this record at one point. And he did so many things within the rollout to try to indicate that this was the truth. And now, in addition to all of its failures musically, as with Lil Wayne's pen game, which again, you could say for some MCs is a universal skill, because if you were at least saying something of decency, people may still connect with the record despite how horrendous it actually is musically. With Lil Wayne saying nothing here like he pretty much has always done, and then with the wordplay slipping and being bad, maybe because he was too busy getting the elephant feature or speed running Mario World for inspiration for the production, well, people have now realized that the way Wayne has been gassed up lyrically with the likes of the very best was maybe just giving him a little bit too much credit, because really what people are seeing and now saying is that Lil Wayne's whole style is like the all gear, no game equivalent of a rapper, and now that the gear looks worn out and old, nobody wants anything to do with it. And so really with
Bro, the level just started and we're already getting overrun. I
Damn.
gotta get these guys
It's
out.
tearing
Build
Lil
this
Wayne
crossbow
apart,
tower
bro.
as fast as possible. I don't even think I have a choice. Quickly.
Wheezy F baby.
Ooh, that was close, but that should take care of things. Wait, never mind, more guys. I should have saw that coming. Anyway, we can't handle this without a second crossbow tower and maybe a wall to block that.
Wheezy F baby.
That should hold us. Wait, now we.
all of this. What we can say for sure is that despite Lil Wayne wanting to compete with Super Bowl level artists, and let's just say it, Kendrick Lamar, well, Wayne has now made what may be the most hated album of his entire career, and one that has ruined the track record of the Carter series and Wayne's reputation in general in this moment. And so now, as this rollout continues and we see how this record will do further and further, to be honest, I don't even want to see how bad the reception of this thing continues to get, because it only seems like everything is only going to get a lot worse for Lil Wayne from here as the failure of this thing really sinks in. And so really, with this entire moment of the Carter 6, a lot of hip hop is going to learn from this thing. And again, while you can point to so many other things, if Kendrick Lamar did not get the Super Bowl and Wayne did not react the way he did and built up so much hype for such an important record, I don't know how bad this record would still look, but I'm sure that it would not be doing as bad for him as it is right now within this very moment that we are in. But overall, and we have to face the facts now, Wayne has become another multi-platinum rapper who is trapped and can't retire, to quote the great Pusha T. And at this point, you have to admit it. Even if this guy is your GOAT, he is washed. And so now with all of this said, let me know. What do you think about how the likes of Kendrick Lamar's run and the Super Bowl made Lil Wayne pretty much just make one of the worst albums he ever has, and one of the worst albums rap has seen in so long? And really with this, what do you think the long-lasting effects of this is all going to be, as this record is getting worse and worse reception by the moment? Well, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about all of this. And now, if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And now, if you want to see how right before this, well, with the initial impact of the Carter 6, Wayne already admitted that Kendrick Lamar was better than him, check out the suggested video.
I mean, my thing is, once again, I think it's his age is playing a factor into it. So he's using that the age group as a marketing thing, trying to market to, you know, his loyal fans. His fans are all older now, so I get that. But then, like you said, the rock rap crossover and all this other stuff, like, you're out of touch with the new kids, man. The younger people who don't really know who you are, because we're at that age now where you can show a 14 or 15-year-old kid some of our celebrities from our generation. They're like, who the fuck is this person? You know, like, who is this? I don't know if a 14-year-old kid would immediately know who, like, a picture of Madonna is, or a picture of Busta Rhymes, or you know, even Tupac. Maybe if you just show like some random, if you show 100 random teenagers a picture of Tupac, would they know who he was? You know, this is 20 years out now, 25 years out, you know. And so that's, I think Lil Wayne is falling into obscurity just because generations are changing. You're rapping in a whole different generation now, bro. You started that shit 25 years ago. Like, in 25 years, you lose a lot. And now a kid, once again, a kid who's fucking 14, 15, 16, even 18, 19 probably wouldn't just be able to look right at it like, oh, that's Lil Wayne right there. Well, name his discography. I don't know. You know, motherfuckers don't know shit about this nigga. It feels weird getting old like that, and like the world changes, and what we thought was what was important to us, not just because we thought it was important, but there are important things in every generation. It just becomes obsolete and no longer is relative. And I think Lil Wayne has probably hit that point in his career where you're just phasing out, and a lot of young people don't remember who you are or don't know who you are, and your fans are like, well, we're all grown and older now. Talk to us about some grown adult shit. And he just refuses to do that, or he is incapable of making a stock market rap or um, a political rap about the fucking Democratic Party or something. I think he lacks the ability to be able to do that because he has had the same formula. He's had the same formula for so long. Mhm. But Lil Wayne, you know, he not broke. He not poor. He not in the poorhouse. So no matter what, he'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? If this is his last studio project, he'll be fine. He'll be just fine. Lil Wayne got more money than most of us. I remember when he did first start growing his hair, I was like, damn, man, he got the best stylists and beauticians and, you know, access to like the best hair treatment and hair products. And his dreads were looking so nice, but I was used to be jealous of that shit. Like, damn, I wish I had dreads like that. Now that nigga dreads look like, damn, bro. What happened to your hair? Every time I look at that, I'm like, what the fuck you did to you? How did your hair get like that? You used to have like some of the nicest fucking dreads, bro. And then you didn't. Are my comments blocked? Is the comment section not working? Am I missing something? Do I need to refresh? Or are you guys just creeping? It's all good if you're creeping. That's fine. It doesn't bother me if you just want to sit here and creep. But if the comment section isn't functioning properly, I would like to know that. You ain't even gotta like type out a whole response. Just throw an emoji up so I can see if it's still working or not. Oh, there you go. I'm listening and working. Can you really do both though, P? Can you really do both? P said he can do both. Oh, I never thought I'd hear the day when critics say Lil Wayne is washed up. Do I have to put that in my next rhyme? I gotta write a song about washed up rappers. Mad they ain't get the Super Bowl. All right, quick bathroom break. I shall return. I'll be right back. Okay. Automation by Guy IT is too automated jobs computers can take away from humans. Computers can't take away from humans. Trying to get some of those details and tonal changes around the eyes, and we'll work our way out from there. Got to get the eyes first. Well, you've been here an hour and a half. We might do another 30 minutes because we did 3 hours this morning. Yeah, another 2 hours, about 5 hours for today. Then I may need to start cooking dinner. I was up super early this morning. Normally I'm up like 4:30. I was up at like 2:30, 3 o'clock this morning and could not go back to sleep. I could not go back to sleep. Now I feel like I need a fucking nap. Oh, it can take away? Here's like I said, that the new song I did, You're the Reason. So there's 3 versions of the old school that I like. I really am still leaning towards that second version the most, but I already published this one and put an image to it for the new school album. Same set of lyrics, a different prompt to make it sound like more up-to-date modern music and not like old school shit.
Trap House Entertainment.
You the reason why, you the reason why, you the reason, you the reason, you the reason why, you the reason why, you the reason why, you the reason, you the reason, you the reason why. Girl, you're everything I want and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dreams. Plus you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was running in these streets, but you helped me tame the beast. Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone, cause I got you here with me. You the reason why I go so hard. You the reason why, you the reason why. You the reason why, you the reason why, you the reason, you the reason, you the reason why. I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood as I slowly get gray. I slowly change my ways. I will never waste a day, and this love will never fade. You're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason, you're the reason, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason, you're the reason, you're the reason why, you're the reason why. Go so hard, you're the reason why. You're the reason why, you're the reason why.
That wasn't a terrible version for the new school type stuff.
baby. On my lap, I load my strap and watch my back. These freaks ain't loyal
And they don't.
Oh, you please don't make them show you. Keep it brief and keep it rolling. Keep it neat, keep trolling, controlling, controlling.
Tryna block your lane and stop your motion.
Show your hustle, move your muscle. Never let these haters hurt you. We can tangle, we can tussle, but I'd rather get this money. Show your hustle, move your muscle. Never let these haters touch you. We can tangle, we can tussle, but I'd rather get this money. Gotta find your groove, all about your attitude. You ain't gotta prove nothing to these dudes. Just keep going strong, stay from running chumps. All these niggas punks, white lines, yellow ball. My life, I've been on my grind. While y'all wasting time, I go for mine. I was
Baking pies,
came from
slanging dimes, money on my mind, honey. On my lap, I load my strap and watch my back. Show your hustle,
move your muscle.
never let these haters touch you. We can tangle, we can tussle, but I'd rather
Get this money.
show your hustle, move your muscle. Never let these haters touch you. We can tangle, we can tussle, but I'd rather
Get this money, baby.
hustle, baby,
Hustle, 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 baby. Hustle, baby.
hustle, baby.
Hustle, 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 baby. Hustle, baby. Hustle, baby. Hustle, 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 baby. Hustle, baby. Hustle, baby. Hustle, 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 baby.
We can tangle, we can tussle, but I'd rather get this money. Super fly, super, 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 super fly. I am super fly, super, super, I'm the man. I got denim from Japan. I got diamonds on my hand. I got leather on my back. Alligators on my feet. 7 days of the week. Pimp shit when I speak. Ball shit when I talk. I'm a king when I walk, but I'm always sliding. PYT, my co-pilot. Hit the ass with the lean, making up the mileage. Making all the bitches scream and the bitch niggas silent. Super fly, I am super fly, super, super, super fly. I am super fly. Super fly, I am super fly, super, super, super fly. I am super fly. All the girls, they must confess that when I dress, I look the best. I hit the strip and I impress. While all you sis stay looking stressed. All the girls, they must confess that when I dress, I look the best. I hit the strip and I impress. While all you sis stay looking stressed. I'm so cool and I'm black. Move smooth like I'm Shaq. Dressing like I'm Dapper Dan. Your whole fit is looking trash. Hold my cash. I can't do the math. Make my baby stay until it's tall and shag. Never catch me slacking. Silver and linen slacks. Never catch me lacking. You can't top my fashion. Way too flashy, nothing average. Leave your ego damaged. You can't top my fashion. You can't top my fashion. All the girls, they must confess that when I dress, I look the best. I hit the strip and I impress. While all you sis stay looking stressed. All the girls, they must confess that when I dress, I look the best. I hit the strip and I impress. While all you sis stay looking stressed. Super fly, I am super fly. Super, super, super fly. I am super fly. Super fly, I am super fly. Super, super, super fly. I am super fly.
Entertainment.
Coming first place, sometimes it can hurt in the worst way. Take heed to what you go through. Life's lessons made to show you. Coming first place, sometimes it can hurt in the worst way. Take heed to what you go through. Life's lessons made to show you.
Everybody goes through setbacks. Please don't stress that. Take a step back. Reevaluate and reset. Try to strengthen where you're weak at. Put in work and do it harder. Switch up and come back stronger. Prove that you a different breed.
Be the dog and show your hunger.
If I don't win,
I don't lose. I learn my lesson.
and I still give respect for the rules. Won't catch me stressing. Now, if I don't win, I don't lose. I learn
My lesson.
and I still give respect for the rules.
Okay, be stressing.
Now they gon' hate the disrespect. They try to play you to the left. Just hold your head and do your best. Just keep it pushing, watch your step. And if you stumble, get back up. And lessons learned can feel so rough. Sometimes this shit seems hard as fuck. It's like it make you strong and tough. If I don't win, I don't lose. I learn my lesson. And I still keep respect for the rules.
Okay, be stressing. If I don't win, I don't lose. I learn my lesson. And I still keep respect for the rules. It can hurt in the worst way. Take heed to what you go through. Life's lessons made to show you. You can always come in first place.
Sometimes it can hurt
In the worst way. Take heed to what you go through. Life's lessons made to show you.
That shit was snap.
Trap house entertainment.
That's me.
reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason, you're the reason, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason, you're the reason. Girl, you're everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dreams. Plus you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wildin' in these streets, but you helped me tame the beast. Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone, cause I got you here with me. The reason why I
Go so hard. You're the reason why.
You're the reason why. You're the reason why
I go so hard.
You're the reason why. You're the reason why. I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real
I will never waste a day, and this love will never be. Reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason why.
Trap House Entertainment.
You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah. Girl, you're everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dream. 'Cause you keep my mind at peace, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wildin' in these streets, but you helped me tame the beast. 'Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone. 'Cause I got you here with me. You're the reason why you're so high. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why you're so high. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood as I slowly get gray. I slowly change my ways. I will never waste a day, and this love will never fade. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. Yeah, you're the reason why. Trap house entertainment.
That's me.
You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're everything I want, and you're everything I need. You fulfill my fantasy, like you stepped out of my dreams. 'Cause you keep my mind at ease, and you fill my soul with peace. I was wilding in these streets, but you held me tame the beast. 'Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone. 'Cause I got you here with me. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood. As I slowly get gray, I slowly change my way. I will never waste a day, and this love will never fade. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason. You're the reason. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. You're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why. You're the reason why. This morning, what I just want to say. Trap House Entertainment. I was running them streets, I was tugging that heat while I'm ducking police, always burning them
Oh, you already
trees.
know.
I was grinding so hard, 'cause my hustle runs deep, and I still made it out, 'cause my grandmother prayed and she prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed for me. She prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed for me. My life has a purpose, I know this for certain. Don't care how you worship, don't judge any person. My passion stay burning, I'm still on my journey. Keep moving my feet, 'cause my grandmother prayed and she prayed. keep me whole. She prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed for me. She prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed for me. Hustle, baby. Trap house entertainment. Hustle, baby. Hustle, baby. Hustle, 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 baby. Hustle, baby. Hustle, baby. Hustle, hustle, hustle. All my life I've been on my grind while y'all wasting time. I go for mine. I was making pies, came from slanging dime money on my mind, honey. On my lap, I load my strap and watch my back. These streets ain't loyal and they don't owe you. Please don't make them show you. Keep it brief and keep it rolling. Keep it neat, keep trolling. Got patrolling, hoes keep trolling. Try to block your lane and stop your motion. Show your hustle, move your muscle. Never let these haters hurt you. We can tangle, we can tussle, but I'd rather get this money. Show your hustle, move your muscle. Never let these haters touch you. We can tangle, we can tussle, but I'd rather get this money. Gotta find your groove, all about your attitude. You ain't gotta prove nothing to these dudes. Just keep going strong, stay from running charms, salty niggas, punks, white lines. In the wrong of life, I've been on my grind. While y'all wasting time, I go for mine. I was baking pies, came from slinging dimes, money on my mind, honey. On my lap, I load my strap and watch my back. Yeah. Show your hustle, move your muscle. Never let these haters touch you. We can tangle, we can tussle, but I'd rather get this money. Show your hustle, move your muscle. Never let these haters touch you. We can tangle, we can tussle, but I'd rather get this money. Hustle, baby, hustle, 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 baby, hustle, baby, hustle, baby, hustle, 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 baby, hustle, baby, hustle, baby, hustle, 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 baby, hustle, baby, hustle, baby, hustle, 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 baby. Trap house dance. Trap house, trap house. Super, super, super fly. I am super fly. Oh, I stay fly 'cause I'm the man. I got denim from Japan. I got diamonds on my head. I got leather on my back. Alligators on my feet. And I stay on my mat 7 days of the week. Pip shit when I speak. Bar shit when I talk. I'm a king when I walk, but I'm always sliding. PYT, my co-pilot. Hit the ass with the lean, racking up the mileage. Make all the bitches scream and the bitch nigga silent. Super fly, I am super fly. Super, super, super fly. I am super fly. Super fly, I am super fly. Super, super, super fly. I am super fly. All the girls, they must confess.
confess that when I dress, I look the best. I hit the strip and I impress. While all you simps stay looking stressed. All the girls, they must confess that when I dress, I look the best. I hit the strip and I impress. While all you simps stay looking stressed. I'm so cool and I'm black. Moving smooth like I'm Chef. Dressing like I'm Dapper Dan. Your whole fit is looking trash. Hoes can't hold my cash. I can't do the math. Make my paper stack until it's tall as shag. Never catch me slacking. Still can't live in slacks. Never catch me lacking. You can't top my fashion. Way too flashy, nothing average. Leave your ego damaged. You can't top my fashion. You can't top my fashion. All the girls, they must confess that when I dress, I look the best. I hit the strip and I impress. While all you simps stay looking stressed. All the girls, they must confess that when I dress, I look the best. I hit the strip and I impress. While all you simps stay looking stressed. Super fly, I am super fly. Super, super, super fly. I am super fly. Super fly, I am super fly. Super, super, super fly. I am super fly.
All right, guys, I'm gonna try to find a good stopping point here shortly.
How entertainment!
You wanna always come in first place. Sometimes it can hurt in the worst way. Take heed to what you go through. Life's lesson made to show you. You won't always
Come in first place. Sometimes it can hurt in the worst way.
take heed to
What you go through.
life's lesson made to show you. Everybody goes through setbacks. Please don't stress that. Take a step back. Reevaluate and reset. Try to strengthen where you're weak at. Put in work and do it harder. Switch it up and come back stronger. Prove that you a different breed. Be the dog and show your hunger. If I don't win, I don't lose. I learn my lesson. And I still keep respect for the rules. Don't catch me stressing. Now, if I don't win, I don't lose. I learn my lesson. And I still keep respect for the rules. Don't catch me stressing. Now, they gon' hate and disrespect. Try to play you to the left. Just hold your head and do your best. Just keep it pushing, watch your step. And if you stumble, get back up. If lessons learned can feel so rough, sometimes this shit seems hard as fuck. This life can make you strong and tough. If I don't win, I don't lose. I learn my lesson. And I still keep respect for the rules. Don't catch me stressing. Now, if I don't win, I don't lose. I learn my lesson. And I still keep respect for the rules. Don't catch me stressing. Now, you always come in first place. Sometimes it can hurt in the worst way. Take heed to what you go through. Life's lessons made to show you. You always come in first place. Sometimes it can hurt in the worst way. Take heed to
Okay, I like that compliment.
life's lessons made to show you.
Man, that shit got a little Stevie in there.
out in these streets, but you help me tame the beast. Cause your love is so unique, gives me comfort when I sleep, knowing that I'm not alone, cause I got you here with me. The reason why I go so hard, you're the reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason why I go so hard. You're the reason why, you're the reason why. I stay misunderstood, but she treats me so good, like a real woman should. Got me knocking on wood. As I slowly get brave, I slowly change my way. I will never waste a day, and this love will never be. The reason why, you're the reason why, you're the reason, you're the reason, you're the reason why.
You're the reason why.
You're the reason why.
You're the reason, you're the oh, you're the reason why. All right, I think that's a pretty decent stopping point right there. Get a few more spots blended in. All right, guys, we made decent progress on the new painting. Working on the skin tones, you can clearly see the new layer of paint that I put on. So all of this here is still just the underpainting. Looks a little dull, not very flesh-like. So yeah, we worked around the eyes, hit the forehead, and then we start working from the cheek coming this way. And I think it's looking pretty good. Yo, Mizu. Started detailing the face on the new painting. Started detailing the face, detailing the face. Let me paint your face. Got a little more than half the face done. So it doesn't seem like this is gonna take that long, guys. It's gonna be her jacket that's probably gonna be the most time consuming on this piece right here. But that's good, you know, have some super details in there. Man, that's looking really good right now. Oh shit. I approve. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. No, yeah, it was just the underpainting. Just only got the underpainting on there. But whatever next show I do is gonna be fucking lit with the goddamn Whisper series. I'll tell you that. These are quickly becoming like some of my better paintings. whisper. I like them. They're so fun, so dynamically contrast with the very detailed figure, with the figure painting, and then very minimalistic with the stencils in the background. This also gives me the chance to call my art mixed media because I'm using acrylic paint, spray paint, and oil paints on these right here. And they're a little bit faster too because the background is just stenciled on really fast. It doesn't normally take me a long time to stencil these backgrounds. So I enjoy it. And I think it's a fire. It's a fire idea. So much so that somebody took it. Somebody took this idea. So it had to be a good idea. If somebody else wanted to use it, and it's not just me who think this is cool. All right, cleaning out these brushes. I used several brushes today. All right, this is clean. I have this whole stack right here. I think these are the ones. Okay, that's clean. That one is clean. Did I use any of these? Does this have paint on it? That has paint on it. Okay, these are clean. Is this clean? All right, those are good to go. Let's slide some of these balls in. All right. Oh boy. All right, some of my blenders. No, I love the blend. Gotta blend them colors in it. Get you a nice soft brush like that. Do your blending. Get them tones to merge into each other real nicely. Okay. I think this brush is actually clean, is it? No, it's not. All of these have paint on it. Come on, feels like slippery chopsticks over here. All right, those two are clean. Can I just do that one? Okay. I think that's all of our brushes are clean. It feels like we had a few new viewers in the stream today or this afternoon. If you didn't comment, that's perfectly okay. You just like and subscribe. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll get us back in here. I try to do this thing daily. I try to be in here daily, at least an hour or so every day, working on this art. So this is our current piece, a new addition to the Whisper series. We actually just got finished Actually, just got finished underpainting this morning as well. So this will be our next project. Right now it's just the underpainting, but this is going to be a little bit more complex. It's a stencil background. There's tons and tons of work that needs to be done to this. Everything from the people and furniture in the background of the cafe. There's a group of 3 guys right here. There's a lady sitting right there. So to detail all of that, to detail the leather couch, the figure herself, and I think there's like 5 books. There's 4 books on the table, 1 book in her hand. It's going to be a lot. And this isn't a small canvas either, guys. This is 3 feet by 4 feet. So yeah, this is how big it is compared to me. So it's not a little canvas at all. It's actually the same size canvas that's on the easel right now, but just by having way more detail is going to just be a lot more time consuming. But I'm ready for it. So we're going to try to not rush through, but stay very diligent on this current piece. Try to get through this as fast as humanly possible, so we can go ahead and knock this more intricate, detailed piece out. And then after this piece, there's 2 more sketches that are ready, and one of them is for each. So this is the reader series. So I have 1 more painting for the reader series ready, and I have 1 more, well, not painting, but sketch. And I have 1 more sketch ready for the Whisper series. Or do I have 2 more whispers? Hold on. I might have 2 more whispers and not 1 for. Oh yeah, no, I got 2 more whispers. And they're both all girls. So the last, I have way more girls in the Whisper series than guys. I gotta change that. There's like 4 paintings with girls. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Next time I do another photo shoot for the Whisper series, it would definitely have to be like 2 guys or at least a guy and a girl. Like I say, the next, because those other 2 canvases are Whispers as well, but they're all girls. So we'll see. That's something to think about there. I don't want to be excluding the gentleman in the artwork. You know what I'm saying? Men need representation too. I think that's it. Brushes are clean. Turn the speaker off. And I think I'm gonna just take a break for a while. We did about 5 hours in the studio today. That's not bad. Turn this iPad off. That's not a bad day of creativity. I wrote a song last night. That's pretty cool. I wrote a song, did a little bit of reading of the adventures of Baron von Trump. It's getting really interesting. We did about 5 hours of painting in the studio today. And now it's time for meal prep. So I'm gonna go get my dinner ready for the next couple of days. I don't know if I should do a cooking with the Prince or not. I'm doing shrimp Alfredo pasta. I'm gonna do meatloaf and rice and squash. And I'll do wings and fries. I love wings and fries, so I'm just making my own wings and fries and a little special dipping sauce I like to go with it. Just regular basic stuff. But anyway, Obizu, Lou, Wendy, Puff, everybody else, man, sure appreciate you guys stopping in, chilling in the studio with me, keeping me company with all the terrific comments and compliments as we work our way through these paintings. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next stream. Peace. We're out of here. Bye, guys.